Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Pittsburgh Steelers, how should fantasy football fans expect team to play Justin Fields in 2024? The Pittsburgh Steelers have an interesting season coming up as they have one of the most interesting QB rooms this season. They have two new quarterbacks who can transform the team into legitimate contenders. However, fantasy football fans may be curious whether Justin Fields would be a worthwhile pickup for their 2024 fantasy teams. His playing time will take a hit, which will make him a less attractive option for fantasy veterans. Danny Carter of NBC Sports thinks that the Ohio State alum is too good of a player to just keep on the sidelines. He believes that Fields would probably end up in a Marcus Mariota role when he was with the Tennessee Titans. Fields, I think, will end up in an expanded Mariota role if the Steelers are determined to install Russell Wilson as the team's unquestioned Week 1 starter, as various reports indicate. Smith and the Steelers could use Wilson, who sported the NFL's third-highest completion rate over expected in 2023, as their between-the-20s game manager and Fields as their unstoppable red zone signal caller. However, he also highlighted that the team would probably be looking to maximize his scrambling ability and possibly use him the same way the New Orleans Saints used Taysom Hill over the years. Fields is too good a runner to keep on the sideline, wandering the sideline while holding a clipboard. Last year he was second, behind Josh Dobbs, among all QBs in rush yards after contact per attempt, with 26 rushes of more than 10 yards. Only Lamar Jackson, 29, had more. Fields ranked second, again behind Lamar, in Pro Football Focus elusive rating in 2023. Fields has shown in his 3 years with the Bears that he can play football. In his 3 years with the Bears, he passed for 6,674 passing yards and 40 TDs. He also rushed for 2,220 yards and 14 TDs, which keeps defenses on their toes. The problem lies with offensive coordinator Arthur Smith. Even Carter pointed out that Smith makes very curious play designs that seemed counterintuitive to what an offense should do. If Fields manages to turn Smith's vision for the Pittsburgh Steelers into reality, there's no reason why he wouldn't be a worthy pickup option for your fantasy team in 2024. Growing belief Steelers could move on from Russell Wilson. The Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback room is now Russell Wilson and Justin Fields after the team moved on from Kenny Pickett and landed two starting caliber passers for almost no compensation. Pittsburgh added Wilson through free agency, signing a one-year deal worth $1.2 million. After Pickett requested a trade due to his displeasure with the situation, the team added Fields in a trade with the Chicago Bears, giving up a 2025 conditional sixth-round pick. As of now, reports claim the Steelers are not holding a quarterback competition and are set to give Wilson the starting job. Not everyone is sold on that happening, though. ESPN's Adam Schefter said on NFL Live that the belief is the team will let the two quarterbacks decide the starter. Think about the investment they have in each player. They essentially are giving Russell Wilson $1.2 million, while the Denver Broncos are paying him almost $38 million this year. Very little investment, Schefter said. They gave up a conditional 2025 sixth-round pick for Justin Fields. Very little investment, they have the luxury of letting this play out during camp and doing whatever is best for that football team. Schefter also said that an NFL executive from within the league believes that if Fields wins the competition and becomes the Steelers starter in 2024, the team could move on from Wilson before the season even begins. There's no commitment, obligation, loyalty to any of these guys. They didn't pay very much for either one of them, Schefter said. I even had an executive say if Justin Fields outplayed him, Russell Wilson, during training camp, they could see them moving on from him before the season. Pittsburgh will likely add another quarterback to their roster, allowing them to have at least two if they do move on from Wilson. They typically carry 3 into the season, meaning they may have a late addition if these executives are correct. Steelers insider believes team is after a bigger catch at wide receiver. Since the Pittsburgh Steelers traded Deontay Johnson to the Carolina Panthers, they have been linked to some notable names as potential replacements for their former Pro Bowler. The first name that came up was Tyler Boyd. He has been a long-time division rival for the team, but grew up in Pennsylvania and played college ball at Pitt and has expressed interest in returning to Pittsburgh to play for the Steelers. He is a free agent and there had been a report of mutual interest between the player and the team, but now it seems there are differing opinions within the organization about signing him. The Steelers are also scheduled to meet with former Chargers receiver Mike Williams this week, but they are going to face some competition for him as he also set meetings with 3 other teams. Now it seems there could be an even bigger name in the works for the Steelers. While appearing on the March 18 episode of The Rich Eisen Show, the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette's Jerry Dulac revealed that the team could be looking for a bigger catch at wide receiver while discussing the team's interest in Williams. Or bigger is all I will tell you, Rich, and we shall see, but that is another step that they are going to make. Like I said, it might not even be Mike Williams, it might be a bigger catch if you will. No pun intended. The Steelers are very thin at the wide receiver position right now. When they trade Johnson, it left them with George Pickens and Calvin Austin as the only receivers who played meaningful snaps for the team last season. Pickens is going to be a major factor for the offense in 2024 after topping 1,000 yards for the first time last year, but Austin is still unproven. They've recently added Van Jefferson, but he wasn't all that productive for the Rams or the Falcons a year ago. That has left them with a major need for at least a WR2 and potentially a WR3 as well. Now it sounds like they could be going after a WR1 to replace Johnson instead. There isn't a long list of available receivers that would be a bigger catch than Williams or Boyd. The biggest name out there who has requested a trade this offseason is actually one of Boyd's former teammates. Bengals WR Higgins requested a trade after being franchise tagged, but there is very little chance that the Bengals would trade him within the division. Stefon Diggs is a name that has been at the center of rumors since the Bills' season came to an end, and a recent Twitter post started those rumors up again. Diggs had a rough ending to last season, topping 50 yards just 3 times the last 10 games, including the playoffs. Trading for him would certainly be a big deal for the Steelers. The most realistic big name out there is Brandon Aiyuk. In an impressive group of pass catchers for the 49ers, Aiyuk has managed to establish himself as the clear top option. His 75 catches and 1,342 yards in 2023 led the team in both categories, and his 7 touchdown catches tied for the most on the team. Aiyuk was named to the All-Pro second team. He also shredded the Steelers' defense in Week 1 with 8 catches for 129 yards and a pair of touchdowns. The 49ers certainly don't want to get rid of him, but their roster is expensive and soon they're going to need to actually pay Brock Purdy, so there will be difficult decisions ahead for them. They could decide to trade him now, while his value is at its peak, rather than wait and see if they can afford to sign him long-term. Maybe there's some surprise name out there the team thinks they could reel in. Whoever it is, adding a top-tier receiver would be another big step toward the Steelers building themselves into a contender this offseason. And you, fan, what do you think of the situation, Brandon Aiyuk? Leave your opinion in the comments.